I was 29 years old when I made the worst decision of my life. Every night, he'd smile, put his hand on my growing belly, whisper to our unborn baby, and tell me he couldn't wait to become a father. He even got down on one knee once, pressed a gentle kiss against my stomach, and thanked me for giving him the greatest gift of his life. I smiled. I said nothing, because I already knew. The baby wasn't his. For months, I slept just fine, until the day he exposed me in front of everyone.
My husband, Ryan, and I had been married for 6 years. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Stable jobs, a nice house, weekend trips, friends who admired us. But inside our marriage, we were falling apart. Ryan worked constantly, sometimes 16-hour days. We barely talked anymore. When we did, it usually turned into an argument. I convinced myself I deserved attention. That mindset led me straight into the arms of someone else. His name was Alex. He worked at a nearby marketing firm. What began as harmless lunches slowly became emotional dependence. Then, a physical affair. I kept telling myself it was temporary, that I'd end it soon. Instead, I got pregnant. The timing couldn't have been worse. Ryan had finally started trying to reconnect. He planned date nights, bought flowers, talked about starting a family. When I saw the positive pregnancy test, my heart stopped. The dates didn't make sense. Deep down, I knew Ryan couldn't be the father. Alex panicked. I'm not ready for this. Within days, he disappeared from my life, blocked my number, changed jobs. I was completely alone. Ryan, however, cried tears of happiness. He hugged me tighter than he ever had before, and I didn't tell him the truth. Watching Ryan prepare for the baby became torture. He painted the nursery himself, read parenting books every night, talked to the baby before going to work. He even recorded bedtime stories so the baby could hear his voice. Every loving gesture made my guilt heavier. Friends said, "Your husband is going to be such an amazing dad." I smiled. Inside, I felt sick. The pregnancy became my prison. Every doctor's appointment, every ultrasound, every celebration was built on a lie. Ryan posted pictures online. Our little miracle. Family members bought gifts. His parents cried when they learned they'd become grandparents. I wanted to confess so many times. But fear always won. I thought, maybe no one would ever know. Our daughter was born healthy. Ryan held her first. He sobbed uncontrollably. I've never loved anything this much. The nurses smiled. Everyone celebrated. Looking at him, I almost confessed right there. Instead, I stayed silent, because every day that passed made the truth harder to tell. 3 years went by. Our daughter grew into a beautiful little girl. Ryan adored her, but people occasionally made comments. She doesn't really look like her dad. We laughed it off. Then Ryan mentioned taking one of those family DNA ancestry tests just for fun. My stomach dropped. I tried talking him out of it. He didn't understand why. Eventually, he ordered the kit anyway. 2 weeks later, Ryan came home unusually quiet. He didn't yell. He didn't slam doors. He simply placed an envelope on the kitchen table. Then he asked one question. "Is there something you want to tell me?" I couldn't speak. He already knew. The DNA report confirmed he wasn't our daughter's biological father. The silence that followed felt endless. Finally, I whispered, "I'm sorry. I thought we'd deal with it privately." Instead, Ryan wanted the truth in front of everyone. A week later, during a family gathering, he calmly stood up. He thanked everyone for supporting us over the years. Then he held up the DNA report. The room went completely silent. He never insulted me, never screamed. He simply said, "I loved this child like she was mine because I believed she was." Then he looked at me. "You took away my choice." No one spoke. I had never felt smaller. Our marriage ended within months. The divorce was painful. Friends took sides. Some never spoke to me again. Ryan requested shared custody, not because he was the biological father, but because he had raised her since birth. The legal process was long, complicated, heartbreaking. In the end, the court recognized the deep bond they shared. He remained part of her life. For that, I'll always be grateful. People often ask what the biggest mistake was. The affair? The pregnancy? The lie? No. The biggest mistake